After casting your film, the next step for actors is to rehearse. We'll get to that a little later on. First, let's look at exactly what acting is. People new to theater or filmmaking often think of acting as just pretending. But when actors just pretend, it feels like they're pretending. Actors have to go further and actually feel what their characters are feeling. So if their character is feeling angry, actors can't just look like they're angry. They need to be angry. This is what leads to the most believable performances. Really great actors often add imperfections in their performances, and it makes it feel more human. This little scene from Ant-Man is so much more believable because this guy is totally talking with his mouth full.
No way.
It's a little gross, maybe, but it feels so natural that it's easier to believe him. Or another example from one of the greatest acting performances of all time, Meryl Streep in Sophie's Choice. I love how she clears her throat,
I had scorbut.
her body language, her perfect accent, the way she searches for the words in English,
Like something that the scars the bird.
how she rubs her eye.
But she went back to Poland.
It's all just so believable and genuine. But this is more than just doing those things on the surface. These actors are doing these natural external things because they're feeling the feelings of these characters internally. And when actors feel natural in their roles, we believe them, and the storytelling becomes infinitely more powerful. My wife Heather gave me permission to share with you a personal moment from an interview she did a few years ago. In this interview, she's divulging extremely private thoughts about her goals and ambitions, and she's getting emotional. And again, she's not acting here. These are her genuine feelings as she was being interviewed. Notice all the expressions in her face. You can see the tension in her chin as she tries to stop herself from crying. And then she lets herself get into that moment and feel those feelings. And then when the emotions get too heavy, she laughs with the interviewer to diffuse that heaviness. And then she allows herself to feel even more deeply as she reveals even more personal information. As we'll look at in this chapter, it's impossible to try to recreate powerful emotions like this by imitating those physical expressions, or in actor lingo, by focusing on those results. You can't tense your chin and cry and laugh and expect the performance to feel genuine just because you're doing those same outward actions. Focusing on results like that creates performances that just aren't believable. Instead, you must work on how to actually feel those feelings. Then the external stuff will manifest, perhaps in the form of chewing with your mouth open or rubbing your eye or coughing or whatever. But the performance must begin internally. But there are a few different schools of thought in regards to how actors might go about feeling those feelings, and we'll look at those in the next tutorial.